Alright, so, I know it's been a minute, but who cares? I'm getting straight into it. Black Ops 7 just came out, and everyone hates it for good reason. I mean, I've heard decent things about the multiplayer and the zombies. Some good, some bad, some okay, but I think unanimously, everyone hates the campaign. Even the people that didn't play it, like me. But that's besides the point. The point of this video is, and not everyone's going to agree, but I don't care. I think we owe the new Modern Warfare 3 campaign an apology. And don't get me wrong, the new Modern Warfare 3, it's not the greatest. That's, the sky's blue, you know what I'm saying? The campaign is one of the worst. It's not god-awful, but it's definitely one of the worst. The multiplayer was decent. Gameplay-wise it was fun. They just didn't come out with any new maps at launch, which was a mistake. And the zombies was god-awful. By far the worst zombies, I appreciate them trying something new, but the fact that they made it that you had to play it like that instead of it being a separate game mode is complete bullshit. But whatever. Anyway, the reason I'm making this video is because I want to talk about the campaigns for Black Ops 7 and the new Modern Warfare 3 campaign, and also Black Ops 3 as well. I'll sprinkle in some of that here too, because Black Ops 3 used to be my least favorite campaign for the longest time. At least in the mainline Call of Duties. But now, I think we all know which one is my least favorite now. Regardless, I want to talk about the Modern Warfare 3 campaign and compare it to Black Ops 7 and Black Ops 3. And also, before I do that, I want to quickly point out how stupid I think some of these fucking retards are, like saying, oh, the new Modern Warfare 3 is still the worst. Black Ops 7, I hate it, but at least it's better than Modern Warfare 3, the new one, And honestly, anyone who says that is just, y'all are actually dog water. I don't want to take any opinion of yours seriously if you say that. But, I don't even know what I'm saying right now. Anyway, let's get into it. Starting off with the first comparison. Obviously, gameplay-wise, it's relatively similar in terms of, they both have the open combat sections, which I wasn't a fan of in either version. However, I will say they're slightly better in Modern Warfare 3, the new Modern Warfare 3. While it wasn't great in Modern Warfare 3, it was a lot less nonsensical as it is in Black Ops 7. In Black Ops 7, you have random objects floating in the sky sometimes, you have knives being thrown down at you, you have red smoke all over the screen or around you at times. It's just... It's like they took Black Ops 3's route with making it weird as possible, and then they just put it in an open combat section from Modern Warfare 3. And it sucks. It wasn't great in Modern Warfare 3, but it's honestly worse in Black Ops 7. I don't care what people say. Another comparison, the characters. Obviously, the writing and the character development for Modern Warfare 3 and Black Ops 7 wasn't at its highest. It was definitely better in the previous games of both franchises or sub-franchises. However, I would still say it's much better the way it's done in Modern Warfare 3, the new one, obviously. It's not the greatest ever, but the part where Soap died at the end, I actually thought it was really well done, and it was actually emotional. It's not the greatest or saddest death in the entire franchise, but it's, it's not hard to stand out in that campaign, but it definitely stood out, and I like the way they did it. It sets up perfectly for once they ever do a Modern Warfare 4. I don't know if they will or how soon they'll do it, or if they'll make it worse, but they have a good set. Modern Warfare 3 was a solid alley-oop for Modern Warfare 4, and it actually made me somewhat interested. Black Ops 7, on the other hand, bro, if they make a Black Ops 8, especially just next year, I'm not excited for Black Ops 8 if they ever make one. Especially if they're going to continue this whole bullshit with the guild and how they, the cradle and all that shit. And the new villain, let's talk about the villains. They introduced Makarov officially. Well, they introduced him in Modern Warfare 2, the new one, but it was more of a cameo at the end. But then Modern Warfare 3 comes out and they fully reveal him. And me personally, well, yes, he's not as cool as he was in the original trilogy. I still think he was pretty cool. He had some good lines. I know the writing wasn't like the greatest ever, but there were some really cool lines. One in particular I really liked from Makarov was when he said, "The Americans love their choices. We will give them one." You know, I thought that was cool. You know, it's like I said, it's easy to stand out, but Modern Warfare. In Black Ops 7, there's barely anything I can remember about the villain other than the way she looks. And as far as all the sub-villains or the side villains, like Razor, I'm pretty sure that's his name, totally forgettable. I'm not going to remember him in T-1 day. I already forgot. Shout out to Jeremy. There's also that guy with the one ear. They were setting him up to be like the next big villain, which no one gives a fuck. And then they brought back Raul Menendez, kind of, as a hallucination, which we will get to the hallucinations, trust me. But honestly, like, yes, they needed to bring him back because it is a direct sequel to Black Ops 2, you know, but the way they did it was so, like, just stupid and disrespectful, especially because, like, the voice actor who voiced Raul Menendez passed away recently, and the fact that this is, like, I'm pretty sure his last role is just so shitty. It's the same with Kevin Conroy, like, his last role or whatever was the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Like, such a shitty end to an amazing career. But yeah, anyway, what they did with Raul was it was so stupid. His boss fight, which, by the way, we'll get into the boss fights as well. The boss fight with him was so dumb. It was so, like, just out of place. All the boss fights were out of place. We'll get to the rest soon, but man. And also the nostalgia bait for Black Ops 7 is so shitty. It's so desperate for, like, attention. Like, oh, you remember this part from this game and whatever. And yeah, as far as the good guys, like David Mason, Harper, I barely remember the other two names. I think it was Samuels and, like, 50-50, the fucking robot or cyborg bitch. I don't care about them. I'm glad they brought Harper back, who was actually voiced by Michael Rooker again. Like, I mean, he was given shitty material, but I at least appreciate him for being there. I like that they brought Marshall back, but I didn't really care for him in this game the way I did in Black Ops 6. I thought he was cool in Black Ops 6. And then, yeah. By the way, they barely followed up on that, Black Ops 6. Where the fuck's Adler? Where was Adler? I forgot if they mentioned his name in it or anything, but where the fuck is Adler? Like, throughout Black Ops Cold War and Black Ops 6, they built Adler up to this, like, cool, interesting character, and I really like Adler as a character. But he just he wasn't even, like, a cameo or anything. Like, what the fuck? Anyway. Right, the characters. Even the familiar ones that I would have been excited to see, they're all a shell of themselves. The Harper boss fight was so fucking dumb. I mean, all the comparisons to Lego Marvel superheroes, like, with the, Galactus, like that. Yeah, it's all, yeah, I see it, and it's totally valid. However, it's just way worse, you know? It's like that, but worse. This whole game, in fact, it is previous games in Call of Duty and other franchises. Like, they took elements from those games and plopped them into this game, and then just made it worse somehow. They took elements from Black Ops 3 and made it worse. Like, how the fuck do you do that? Alright, anyway. I know not all of the missions were open combat. Like, you know, the same way Modern Warfare 3 was, which some people forget. Modern Warfare 3, most of the missions were linear. There was, like, 6 open combat missions out of the 13 or 14. Most of them were linear, alright? And people forget that. But listen, even with the linear missions in Black Ops 7, they were still shit. It was the same as Black Ops 3. It was just all this confusing, hallucinogenic bullshit that I forgot the story of Black Ops 3, but one thing I can say about Black Ops 3, like, yes, we were all expecting a follow-up to Black Ops 2, and it totally side-railed it. They only mentioned Raul once in that game, but at least it doesn't step on the setup of Black Ops 2 that they were setting up for. At least it tried to tell its own story without ruining what they set up previously. It kind of, if it was called, like, Call of Duty Cybernetic Warfare and just took out all the Black Ops elements, it would have been received better. It would have been a lot less memorable, but it probably would have been received better. It would have been the same with Infinite Warfare, where people just didn't give it the chance. Speaking of Infinite Warfare, I'm gonna get to that too, so stick around for that. But with Black Ops 7, it does exactly what Black Ops 3 rightfully did, which was not ruin the setup or the continuation from Black Ops 2. It took everything Black Ops 2 set up and just fucking ruined it. That's why Black Ops 7 is worse for me. I don't care that they did all this nostalgia shit and they followed up on this and this. They made it stupid. They might as well have not even... I don't even know why this game exists. Like, it came out not that long after Black Ops 6, which is surprising. And, like, yeah, it doesn't deserve to exist, this game. At least Modern Warfare 3, while not perfect, it at least... Okay, here's what I'll say. Modern Warfare 3, if I had to rate it, honestly, I would give it like a 5.7 or some random middle number like that. It would be just over 5. Because, it wasn't great. Matter of fact, I'm just going to go through the list of pros and cons for Modern Warfare 3, and then I'll do that for Black Ops 7, if there are any pros to that game. So some of the cons for Modern Warfare 3, the new one. Obviously, the linear missions are honestly very cool. That opening mission is honestly really, like, some people... I don't know why people hate on that first mission. That first mission was sick. You know, how you thought you were playing as, like, the good guy or whatever. Or we didn't exactly know who we were playing as, and then they revealed that we were breaking out Makarov. Like, honestly, that's super cool. And it was a linear mission. It wasn't an open combat mission, so it played much better. There was the really cool part where they turned off the lights and they were descending down the prison, and they were shooting the prisoners and the guards through the windows and stuff. Like, come on, that's so sick. Oh wait, did I say I was gonna do the cons first? Never mind. I'll do that right now. Obviously the open combat missions weren't that fun. If you rush through them, you could get through them in 20 minutes for each at most. And that's if you're rushing through. I took my time, so it wasn't that short for me. But yeah, it just doesn't really have a flow to it. It's kind of janky in terms of the... it's cool for like a level is like... If this was just like a game mode, it would have worked. But for a campaign, it just felt out of place. Another thing I'm not like a fan of, it felt like they were trying to replicate some things from older Modern Warfare games, but they didn't do it as well. It wasn't as egregious as it was in Black Ops 7, but it still could have been better. What's another thing? The writing, there was a slight downgrade, and also the whole thing with like missiles and stuff was it was getting a little repetitive, because like how many times have we dealt with that? There was also like, I don't know, the whole like middle part of the game, it felt like the characters felt invincible for some reason, until like the end obviously, but I don't know, it just feels like Call of Duty right now, in regards to the campaign, it feels like they're always like struggling to find a way to kill off characters, like in some, I'm fine with bringing back characters if it's done well, but if it's not done well, then it's like, why didn't they just, stay dead or whatever? But that's, yeah. Another thing, I thought Makarov was cool, but all the side villains that were like with him, I didn't care about. I think Dimitri was one of their names. I don't care, and I don't remember their name. I don't even know if that's his name, but I wasn't a big fan of that. And yeah, it's also a very short campaign, compared to like the rest. I thought obviously it depends on how your playstyle as well. Like for me, it took like 7 hours, but if you're rushing through it, you can really finish it in like 3, and that's not great, But regardless of that, here are some of the positives. I like how you can play as like a lot of characters. I think this is the most amount of characters you've ever played in the campaign. Like you play as one of Makarov's guys in the first mission. You play as Soap, Gaz, Captain Price, Farah. You play as that woman on the plane, which we'll get to in a second. You play as there's another AC-130 or whatever, the plane missions. There's one of those as well. Like there's you can play as a lot of characters, and I really like that. He plays Ghost, I forgot to mention. Like Like, it's cool that they add some variety to the game, you know? Even though there's a lot of, I will say that even though it doesn't always hit the mark, this game does offer, or this campaign does offer some decent variety. You gotta admit that. And then as far as the villains go, I thought they were pretty cool. I thought Makarov, well, like I said, not as cool as he was in the original. I still thought he was pretty cool. And by villains, I mean Makarov and General Shepard. Like I said, the side villains don't matter. The only villains I count are Makarov and General Shepard. In this game, I thought General Shepard was interesting as a villain. I'll get more into him like shortly, but I thought he was pretty cool, or interesting, to say the least. There's even a mission, Laswell. You can play as Laswell for a mission. Like, that's kind of cool. I mean, it wasn't it was an alright mission. It was very short. There's even a reference. There's a cameo from Yuri, which I thought was interesting. But yeah, it was alright. Another thing I like about it is that the linear missions are all really cool. They're not like standout greatest mission ever, but they're still really cool, especially when you compare them to the open combat missions. Like the trains at the end, it was cool. It reminded me of the Advanced Warfare mission where you're like avoiding traffic and you're jumping on top of buses. Like, that's kind of cool in my opinion. And yeah, obviously the voice acting is still great. Say what you will about like the story or whatever, whether you like it or not, the voice acting is still very solid. Now let's get to the plane scene, because obviously that was looked at as like, oh, how are they gonna follow up on the no Russian scene? And it's like, bro, why does it always have to be like? I get that's the point of this video I'm making, like comparing, but why does everything have to be a comparison? Like, sure, you can compare it, and yes, I think the no Russian scene is obviously better, but the no Russian scene, or the plane scene, I'll just call it, is still really cool for what it was. If you just look at it as like a scene, and just and you just forget about no Russian, it's still a really cool mission, or segment rather. For a mission, it's very short, but it's a segment basically, and it's honestly really cool. It pulls at your heartstrings with or not heartstrings, your anxiety strings rather. Like the way it's like she's trying to get to the detonator button to turn off the bomb or whatever, but the crowd's getting in her way and people think it's her, and it's a very stressful scene. I thought it was really well done. I just hate how people are like comparing it to, you can compare it, like I said, but that doesn't mean it can't be appreciated for what it is. I thought it was really cool. But what pissed me off even more about the hate that this campaign got, now look, I'd say it's valid. However, I think the people watching should look at it from a certain perspective, the way I look at it. And this is involving General Shepard's death. When you compare it in this game to the older version, now yes, I think the older version, that's one of that's one of the best, most memorable scenes in the entire Call of Duty franchise. People still talk about it till this day. It's incredible. But the newer scene, it's obviously a lot less grandiose and epic. It's it's very concise and like it's intense in a different way, But it's fitting, like let's take General Shepard from the new Modern Warfare and the old one. The only similarities they have is that they're generals and they're backstabbers and they have the same name. That is the only thing. And they're both white. There you go. That's literally the only. There's almost nothing similar. He's pretty much a completely different character. Now, it probably would have been better maybe if they just made a new character, less people would have hated on it or whatever. But I mean, with the way the campaign went, people probably would have hated regardless. But here's why I don't hate his death. Why I actually think it's really cool for like what it is. The new version of General Shepard is a slimy, backstabbing traitor. He's not this badass, fear-mongering war criminal. He is an office-dwelling, slimy backstabber who is a coward, and he will throw all of his friends under the bus while sitting in his office chair all safely and soundly. He is not some badass. He is a coward. And it's more fitting for him to not have a badass death, like the original General Shepard did, plus it was perfect timing, you know? Like, Soap dies. It's like, you gotta have some... They wouldn't just, you know... If they would have just ended the campaign with Soap dying and having that emotional moment, it would have been sad. However, I think having Captain Price kill General Shepard, I think it makes it better, because it's like, at least we get to get away with something, you know? It gives us some faith that, you know, the characters, Captain Price and all of them, have hope to take down Makarov in the future, you know? Another thing, I like that with his death, it's like, you know, it's like, I don't get the hate for it, you know? Like, I know it happens in a cutscene. Oh, where's my QTEs and all that? Like, who cares, bro? This isn't God of War. Shut the hell up. But no, I get it. It's a cutscene. It's after the credits. I get it. But it's like, I'm telling you, I think it's a perfectly fitting death for this version of General Shepard. You know, he doesn't deserve a badass death. He doesn't deserve this badass moment. He tried it with his last one-liner, saying, "I will not beg for my life." He tried it, but still, he is not a badass character, and he does not deserve a badass death. So there you go. And as far as I know they reused the map, Verdansk, or I think it's called, the stadium or whatever, but it's like, I thought the way they used that in this campaign was better, because, bro, the fact that Makarov tricked them to getting him to escort him via helicopter out of there just so he can blow it up afterwards, like, that's some sinister shit. You can't lie. Like, that's, you know, and they probably should have, you know, they should have killed him right there, but, you know, it was a cool scene. And then when you compare that to Black Ops 7, it's just nostalgia bait for the sake of being like, hey, you remember this? Like, you know, it's just, they're not the same, you know? I'm not going to make a Kendrick joke because that would be overplayed at this point. Anyway, that's pretty much all I had to say. As far as, also, Infinite Warfare. Yeah, in retrospect, not a bad game at all. In fact, I'd say it's quite good. The campaign in Infinite Warfare, incredible. One of the best in my opinion, if not the best. Or maybe not the best, but it's one of the best. The zombies was really fun and quirky. Obviously not as good as, you know, Black Ops 3. Black Ops 3 is the best zombies. But it's still really cool for what it is. And then the multiplayer was fine, you know. It was fine. It was like Black Ops 3, but slightly tweaked a little bit. In retrospect, Infinite Warfare is really not bad. I hate the people that didn't give it a chance, you know? That is a big problem I have with the Call of Duty community, is that if it doesn't say Modern Warfare this number, or Black Ops whatever the fuck, it's people just most likely aren't going to give it a chance, and that's complete bullshit. Like, you know, unless it's somehow connected to any of the other, like, the same way World at War is connected to Black Ops, you know, like, well, yeah. Anyway. Infinite Warfare, in retrospect, is a really sick game, and the campaign is amazing. And honestly, the fact that it came out with the Modern Warfare Remastered with it is honestly, in retrospect, that's a crazy deal when you think about it. You don't know how lucky we had it. We had Infinite Warfare, which turns out to be an actually solid game, combined with the inclusion of the Modern Warfare Remastered. Like, in retrospect, that's actually a great deal, and I'm glad I got it, you know? And also as far as Black Ops, they should just stop it at this point. I don't want Call of Duty to end, but they really should try a different, like, story. I want to see how they wrap up Modern Warfare, the new one, because, you know, I'm at least interested a little bit. With Black Ops, I don't give a fuck anymore, and most people don't, at least in terms of the campaign. They should try something different. They genuinely should. You know, some fans aren't going to like it. They're not going to give it a chance, especially after Black Ops 7. But, you know, and it's a shame too, because, like, I really liked Cold War and Black Ops 6. Obviously they're not the best campaigns ever, but they're still really cool. And as far as the rankings go, my bottom three, it's not the big three, it's the bottom three. No glory. My third worst is Modern Warfare 3. Then it would be Black Ops 3 is the second worst. And then my least favorite campaign till this day is Black Ops 7, unfortunately. Oh yeah, and also, real quick, I want to just touch on the multiplayer aspect. I think multiplayer in campaign, or co-op, it could work, you know? There's potential. But the way they did it was just so shit. And the fact that it is like... The fact that it's more optimized for, like, multiple characters, and if you try to play alone, it's, like, a lot slower to get through. Like, that's just so... That's bad game design entirely. Like, that's so dumb. And it wasn't great in Black Ops 3 either, but it was much better than it was in Black Ops 7. So, yeah, there you have it. That's all I could think of for this video. And, will I be back? I don't know.